interactions with our clients and stakeholders. That's what we mean by integrity from our side. It follows with client focus. Our actions will be driven by the needs of our clients. So we value our clients daily. Professionalism, our success depends on maintaining a highly skilled, okay? Mr. Desmond pointed to my team behind the table there. A highly skilled, diverse, and compassionate workforce. Excellent service, we strive to exceed expectations of our clients. And lastly, innovation, we strive to uphold a culture of doing new things to create value for our clients and the business. So that provides the direction of Kuleni. Therefore, the revised direction and business model of Kuleni provided evidence, enough evidence for us to move beyond what we have been known of as a pure patient finance administrator, okay, to an emerging financial service provider. So based on this, you will see as the following presenter comes through that we've considered to change our name and our logo. So this is where we are currently, and he will reveal Mr. Maruwasa, Lois, on what is our new logo. In conclusion, not to bore you, that's where we were in the beginning. The first one, in the middle, that's what we are trying to shoot from, and then we're here to see what Louis has for us. That's in brief, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. A round of applause. Thank you. Claretta? And then we're going to see what Louis has for us. Okay.
All right, no, thank you, CEO. Maybe just while they are setting up, Kuleni is a juristic entity, but in truth, it has real people behind it. So I just wanted to quickly call the staff to stand up, if I may ask me Margaret, Elaine, me Monica, Marine, Albertina, and the Honorable, the best dressed man in the room, Franco. I was a bit intimidated, but I'm better now. Pipilo, one of our soccer stars in the GIPF, as well as our newest transfer in, who's talking about soccer. Mr. Matengo is the company secretary. Yes. So colleagues, these are the faces of Kuleni. There's one missing, Mr. Cornelius Joseph, who's the manager of finance and administration. But in essence, these are the people who are really, and? Oh, and Helena, yes, my apologies, and Helena Shigute. So these are the faces of Kuleni. You will see soon as, especially when the GIPF pension back home loan product or scheme rolls out to the industry, the country at large, these are really the people that are going to enact the branding. So we appreciate you, colleagues. Thank you so much for standing up. All right, so from now we'll just have I'll say the keynote speaker, that's what I called him last time, because he's really the one who will take us through all the detailed thinking behind the new Kuleni branch. So Mr. Louis Maruwasa from Adforce, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nikano. I would like to stand on the protocol that's already been established, welcoming everybody on board. Of course, representative of the shareholder, Mr. David Nuyoma, Madam Chairperson of GIPF, Mr. CEO of Kuleni, Mr. Selby Sibeya, and of course, Madam Chairperson of the Kuleni board. Welcome to our stakeholders, NAMFISA, as well as to the rest of the GIPF colleagues and other individuals who are also stakeholders. We are very happy that you're here and that we can take you through this process. It's not every day that we get to present as to why a logo is changing to the stakeholders, to the media. Typically people just see it as a new FNB logo, but did everybody get to understand why they changed it? So first of all, Kuleni. We're very happy that Madam Dax and her team changed the name to Kuleni. And there's a reason why we did not recommend it be changed as well. Because sometimes when we do these branding exercises, one of the things we suggest is, if the name is not working, is to say, let's change it. In this case, we did not. because it's such a powerful name. It has a lot of meaning to it. As Mr. Nicanor said, you have to find out what it means by discussion. So I will not go into the name, but I will say it has great meaning and it applies to where Kuleni is going. So before I start going there, I think Mr. Nicanor's daughter had asked what is branding and why it matters. So I'm going to use a female example, then I'm going to use a male example. Because we've used a female example before and people think we're sexist. We're not. We believe definitely in the power of both genders. So I'll start with a female example. And what we said was, when women go out to places, you will notice that women spend a lot of time thinking about what they're going to wear. Women typically will have lots of outfits in the closet and they'll say, I have no clothes, I have no outfits. And they'll go looking for a new pair of shoes, a new dress, change their hair. All these things go into one reason. I want to own my own position in the room. I don't want to share a space with another woman that comes and she's got the same shoes, she's got the same outfit, and oh my God, she did her hair just like mine. A woman will leave an event if she were to walk in and discover another woman's wearing a similar outfit. Because women take positioning very seriously. And it's because you don't want to get lost in the crowd. You want to make sure that your space, what you stand for, how you position yourself in the room is important. You need to be seen for you, not just as another woman in the crowd, but as you. And that's very important when it comes to branding. For men, we can look at the example of soccer. Yes, it has been a wild ride. Some teams that shouldn't lose have lost, like last night, but it's fine. We won't go into that. But in terms of positioning, when you have a goal, when you have a strategy of what you would like to achieve, you take certain elements and you put them in a certain arrangement. So you choose, I'm going to have this guy as a striker. I'm going to have this guy in defense. I'm going to bring in this guy at this moment in time because of his energy, or this guy can go throughout the whole game. You choose based on the goal, of course, which is to win, but the goals can be many different things. So positioning the right players on the pitch is what leads to winning the game, winning the championship, and getting the goal that you would like to have. And therefore, when people come to us and talk about branding, logos, etc., we look at it in the same way. What's your goal? What would you like to do? How do you want to stand out in a room? And not only stand out, you want to stand out as being as good or better. But typically, for a woman, you want to be the one that's the hottest. You don't want to be in there and other women are better heels, or a better dress, or better hair, or better nails. So at the end of the day, you definitely want to be as good or better, and Kuleni intends to be better every time. So when we started this exercise, what we did is, I'm going to jump a couple of slides. This was the thinking before, but we started off here at the old name. Now, one thing we don't do when transitioning something is we don't knock the old one. There's a reason why this worked. There was intent in it. There was meaning in it. We looked at the colors. We looked at the fonts. We looked at the name. And then we looked at that and said, okay, what were you intending to do when you created this logo? We looked at the values that presently exist. As the CEO said, they added innovation. How does that affect how this logo works? So I'll show you. Then we had a conversation around all the considerations. These may seem like random images, but there is something to them. They've added innovation as a value. So we said, okay, what is innovation? For instance, where we take a symbol in the form of SpaceX, Mr. Elon Musk's space venture, and we look at, for instance, its logo, how they write their name. And you will notice that modern fonts are sans serif. The old ones are serifs. The ones that have the little edges on the corners, those are serifs. Sans serifs, remove them. They're easier to display on screen. They are more easier for people to reproduce. But generally, they look modern and fresh. So if a company is innovative, definitely we can't keep the font that they had before because we have to be innovative. So we had to modify the font. So we'll show you how we modified it, right? Then we looked at what Kuleni does. is a financial business. It's no longer a pension fund administrator, it's now a financial services provider. So we looked at the market space. That's where finance people play, that's their pitch. They're out there in the markets, they're out there taking investments on behalf of the people. Of course, making sure that they follow the rules from the bodyguards that guard the interests of the people, like Nafisa. So they look at the market indicators. Green arrows are up, red arrows are down. So we looked at that and said, how do we borrow from the world that you play in to represent you when it comes down to the new logo? So I'll show you how that applies. Then we looked at gold. Gold, of course, is a standard measure of wealth. It stores wealth. Typically, when you get gold, it's because you want to back yourself up with something that has the same value no matter where on earth you go. Gold is gold in Zimbabwe, it is gold in South Africa, it is gold in London, it is gold in New York. A dollar is not the same. Anywhere you go, there's fluctuations in how much it's worth. But gold does not have that problem. That's why it's a store of wealth. And plus, it's also in limited amount. It's got a finite amount of gold in the world. So that's also what makes it valuable. So we said, Kuleni, when it takes money from people, wants to retain that wealth, right? It doesn't want to lose it. But at the same time, if you give me a bottle of water and come back 10 years from now and I give you back a bottle of water, I haven't done anything for you. That's why we looked at the market space to say, you actually expect that when you come back and said, I gave you a bottle of water, you expect me to give you back 10 bottles of water. That's why you gave me that bottle of water. You wanted me to grow it, right? So that's why we looked at the market and those indices. Now, on the far right, you will see the desert. Personally, as brand specialists, we try to avoid the desert as a representation of Namibia because we have one fundamental problem with it. Every time you Google Namibia from anywhere, desert shows up and rock features, and we say, but a country isn't geography, it's people. It's the tribes of Namibia. It's the languages that make Namibia. Namibia is not about the desert. It's about its people. You can have a desert in Qatar, but it's not called Namibia, right? It's called Qatar. Why? Because it's for the Qatari people. It's a nation. So typically we stay away from a desert. So are we contradicting ourselves? Why did we use the desert in this case? Why is it there? Turns out, Namibian desert is the oldest in the world, 55 million years. So Kuleni intends to be here to perpetuity. It tends to be in business forever, which means that is a good representation of something that's always going to be there. So we kept the desert, but not only because of that. If we go back to the previous slide, right? You saw the colors of the logo. The point of that logo was changing colors for the different elements was a question of diversity, also to show the family. So we said, that's a very strong thing, we need to keep it. The desert is perfect for showing that because it gives you a nice graduation of different elements within one thing. Yes, the sand is probably the same from a certain angle, but depending on how it's playing with the light and playing with the wind, it shows you different textures and gradients, which represent differences within the desert itself. Just like Kuleni has different products with different people at different ages, at different points in life, right? So that's why we kept that as a representation and used the color from it, and plus the fact that it is something that's always going to be there. Going back to the gold bar, right? I just need to add something. Gold, I think the CEO said ethical standards are part of this. Ethical means consistently the same integrity at all cost. Gold has a truth aspect to it. That's why people trust it. The composition is the same regardless of where you are. And that speaks to ethical standards. And that's why we also chose the gold bar. Now, to show you the new logo, I think I need to actually invite back to the stage the CEO and Madam Chairperson before I show you the new logo. Jaco, if you can help us, Jonah, with the... All right, so what, after that entire conversation, what did we do? And this did not take 2 days, 3 days. I think it's 3 to 4 years of discussions, of debates, of conversation, of analysis and strategizing. And this is where it led us. So, welcoming the logo reimagined. I'll just wait for this gentleman to get close to the unveiling behind there. This is where we now are with the new Kuleni logo. That's what it looks like. I'm going to play it again, and then I'm going to explain how it all came together. Once again, you saw, let me see if I can skip to the next slide and keep it on a static before I finish. As you can see, it's a sans serif font. You've got the name below it, but if you see the orange part on the right, remember our discussion about the colors from the original logo and the desert and the discussion of the gold bar. If you look at the top, the largest segment, that's the cross section of the gold bar. Underneath it is an arrow from the market. That's the indice of positive growth, because you bring your wealth to us so that we can manage it and grow it. That's why the growth is propping up the retention of wealth, which is the gold bar. That's what the new logo stands for. That Kuleni is here to grow your wealth, to drive you forward towards a future that is prosperous and that is inspiring for you to make a commitment today to have it. So thank you very much. I will now allow the gentleman behind to reveal the logo in its printed format, and I'll hand back to the MC or to the CEO.
So we did not only rebrand the company, we also rebranded ourselves. I would like to request the Kuleni directors and the staff members, please to also unveil the logo. Thank you. I have the logos, so please, you are all required to unveil the logo, including our chairperson of the chapter. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you, we may be seated. Thank you.
Wow. You know, I thought it was a surprise. I opened my own shirt. Thinking that it's new technology, but I thought it was for us all. So, yeah. No, I may be paid in fees for emceeing, but for the shirt, please, Madam Chair. Such a beautiful shirt. No, thank you. I think we'll just proceed with our program. The next we have a word from the shareholder, Mr. Nuyoma, the CEO of GIPF, will just come and give his views and remarks regarding today's festivities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Desmond, for giving me the floor. Our very able MC, and like to stand by the protocol already late, and with that, few recognitions though. I stepped in here with the chairperson of GIPF board. She's sitting next to me. Obviously, I have to say, Madam Chair, we recognize your presence and your total realignment to other territory. Madam Julia Metuzana, chairperson of Kuleni Financial Services. CEO, my dear brother Selby Sibeya, CEO of Kuleni Financial Services, directors of Kuleni, directors of GIPF. I'm so happy that you are here. When it comes to marketing, branding, PR, if you need any serious, solid advice, Dax is there. She has seen the ins and outs. And so I'm very happy she clapped hands. I was watching her carefully. And so that approval, it means blessings have just been bestowed upon you.
My only problem is that I was not consulted.
You know, good students by nature would want to surprise their good teachers. I see it's a new term, the bodyguards. I feel so comforted and protected. Namfisa is here. Thank you very much for joining this very, very beautiful event. And I see our colleagues from Kuleni totally transformed and looking very exquisite and beautiful. And Franco, of course, you did not disappoint. Ongame is my friend. She decided she'll be my friend. She was not introduced to me. She came and introduced herself to me. I was working in one shop, and then I just saw this young lady approaching me, and she extended her hand. And then I could see someone running, breathing very heavily. She was outrun. It was Ongame's mom. She says, "I'm so sorry." But Ongame has already done the introduction. He said, I'm Ongame. I always see you in my room. In our living quarters. And my dad, whenever you come on, he's always happy. And I thought I need to meet you. So, yes, indeed. And I could see on her face, she had a question or two. But then her mom was like, "Ongame, let's go." They've already disturbed Mr. Nuyoma. And I said, no. She said, no, next time. And I don't know what is it she wanted to follow up as in terms of the question. Say hello to her, please. We are very happy to be here and to witness growth. The GIPF board took a decision about 6 years ago. And that decision was to revamp Kuleni. And board of trustees were appointed. And the mission was simple: go and make Kuleni great, make it relevant. And today we see that hard work coming through. And to a point that the name has been readjusted with a view to make it much more broader and all-encompassing in the financial services sector. We are very pleased to see that. We also have observed your business strategy. We take note of your focal areas and principles of integrity, client focus, professionalism, excellence, and innovation. What was the other one? Did I miss out one? But then I had, as you were going through that, I said all corporations, all entities, all businesses come and establish on the basis of a governance. Please don't forget, at the end of the day, I assume perhaps it's part of the integrity principle. Governance. It all starts with governance. The complexity of governance in its fullness and completeness, be it at the way the CEO management relate to all in the business, that can inspire or demotivate. But I believe we all want to see that governance inspiring this team that stood here to remain as committed, professional, and doing what they have to do with excellence. But it goes beyond, it comes to board. The relationship between board and management. I've seen many corporate rooms, boardrooms. Find a CEO cannot talk to the chairperson. And then I say to myself, oh, is that even possible? Not in my rules. And then there is misalignment of purpose. So governance is critical in all this. As we execute strategy, we must remain at all times totally aligned at all levels, and that we work in tandem. Then only will it be smoothly executed with a sense of ease, because you don't implement while looking behind, wondering whether I'm doing the right thing. You already know you are doing the right thing. There's no time to waste. I really like the logo, and by divine intervention, this morning as I was selecting what to dress, somehow I feel myself aligned also. I thought it's a beautiful day, it's brilliant. I looked at the sun, I said, well, that energy from the sun, I want it around my neck. And I can see here it is. We wish you well with this new name. You have just been rechristened. And with all names, we wish you that you become the household name in Namibia. You become the name of choice. And then you keep it and treasure it for what it is, so that it is a name of integrity, it's a name of excellence. And we wish you well on behalf of the board of trustees of GIPF, executive, and the rank and file of GIPF. Well done and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CEO. I think it's a befitting platform just to maybe confirm what Ongame wanted to ask you. It was matters pertaining to salary increases. But I see she had the wisdom to delay that conversation out of Spa. All right, we'll then move on to the next item, and that is the launch of the Kuleni website and social media platform, once again by the CEO, Mr. Sibeya.
Good morning once again. Yes. We are through Namibia, you can see the pictures. It's coming. While it's coming, thank you, Mr. Nuyoma, and thank you, Louise. Just to build on, is to say that on what Louise was saying, that the symbol for the gold bar, we want to create wealth for everyone, shared prosperity. That's the objective. So we would want situations of where wealth creation is only limited to a few. People don't experience that in a lifetime. There's been a concern in the industry from members. You ask me to save for retirement, I suffer for the next 20, 30 years. Then you're keeping all my millions, or I don't know if they see it's millions. Only when I turn 60, I'm old, and that's when I want to give my money. So many people complain about that. Perhaps it's maybe lack of appreciation on how retirement funds work. But from our side, we took time to target those concerns. Hence, we came up with creation of wealth. So we want you to have partners throughout the journey until retirement and beyond. I don't know why it's misleading. Through retirement and beyond. So that's basically the essence from our side. It is coming through. For the first time, we never had a Kuleni website. Okay? People were asking in this time and age, you don't have a website. So for the first time, we have a website. Thank you, and we'd like to thank the colleagues in the GIPF, Ruben's team, specifically Mr. Konjeni Nakeva is at the back. We know sometimes we're putting much pressure on you. He is the back, the man behind the website. Thank you. So this is the Kuleni website, which we are launching today. You can access us on www.kuleni.com.na. That's the homepage. Please, you can go and browse. I'll give the mic over to Yona Ruyako just to share with you the social media platforms as well. We have Facebook, Twitter, and so on. So this is what you can find on our website, our products and services, what we offer. At the moment, we only have one product, the Kuleni Preservation Fund. But as we launch more retirement solutions we're talking about, you will see the page increasing with content there. There we have our brokers, Mr. Sky Abraham. Don't worry, you will come to the other page where you are. With our brokers, thank you. He's in the room. He's one of the first brokers of Kuleni. So he helped us to grow as well. Yeah, it's not biasness. Mine was readily available. So there are others who still come on with the corporate picture. So there we have it, and the links are below. So you can also go to ITAS, you can go to SAMAS. The link can take you there. Konjeni, if I struggle, just come assist for me how to go back. Yes. Okay, I'm going somewhere now. Thank you. In terms of about us, we have a business model there. That is for Kuleni, we have our directors. So business model, we provide a background in terms of the company, our high-level statements. That is our vision, mission, core values, the ones I mentioned earlier on. And then we come to directors. They will have their profiles, their pictures, here they are. Those are directors, you're able to see them. And then, of course, management is the other page. The one you saw earlier was the shortcut on the page. If you go through the path itself, you will find us here. The products, of course, the basic one is the retirement fund administration services. So fund administration services now becomes part of the services. And then we have Kuleni Preservation Fund. what is it all about, to get more information in here. And of course, I see Sky is looking at me, so Sky, you are here. These are brokers, countrywide. So here from Windhoek and other regions as well. The form on the right, you will note that on the right, on each form there is contact us. So for each specific type of service you want, you type in your information there. You click send button, you will receive the email depending on which platform you were or the page. Then they'll respond to you accordingly. Okay, we have, this is now to go in the link itself to get more information if you want to learn more about the services. What do we mean for employers? So if you're an employer and you want Kuleni services, this is a page we are creating for you. So what can you get there? How do I provide retirement solutions for my members as an employer? So you'll come through that. But I see more individuals in the room. Let me come to individuals quickly. As an individual, even if you have your own arrangement in terms of retirement, you are still welcome to join the Kuleni family through the individuals. The first product that we have there now is a retirement annuity fund. So it's coming under for individuals. And the main other, we'll talk of insurance. So please, I'm appealing to all of you, you are welcome. That's for support, I didn't leave you out. In terms of media center, this is where you'll find more information. I think Stefan is doing a good job. Just make sure that you are in the picture and it's now, because you'll be there on that page. And then the vacancies, at the moment we don't have. So that's where to be posted in the future in terms of vacancies, and a dedicated page for contact us. Okay, where if general query or information you want to know, then you can contact us here. The media colleagues at the back, if there's any news, any story you heard about Kuleni, there's our information. Please verify and contact us to confirm that is correct with what people are saying about Kuleni. So we have our information there available to contact us. That's in brief with regard to the website. I'll invite the colleagues to come and share the social media platforms. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm from the agency Adforce. We've been working closely with Mr. Sibeya. Do you have a Facebook account? Because this is the only way I'll be able to show you the Facebook page for Kuleni. Let me see if I can get it on here. So yes, there is a Facebook account and a LinkedIn account for Kuleni. They are already set up. So once content is created, we are going to then upload when we get the photos from Stefan. Yes. But otherwise, so it's just Facebook and LinkedIn for now. We are still working into the future. We might have a YouTube channel as well later. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, CEO. As promised, we've managed to catch up on our time, so we'll finish right on schedule, a little bit ahead of schedule, in fact. The only thing that's left is to just introduce the last speaker, Mr. Schreiber. Yeah, I've been practicing the surname. I've been practicing it. But as I said last time, it's probably the most befitting man to give closing remarks. He's quite a unique combination of a person. He's a risk officer, risk executive rather. He's a golfer. He's a karate, was it? Jiu-jitsu. Yes, and a farmer. Right. Yeah. I know one of the three is what up statuses. Which is such a beautiful combination of a person. This is one of our board of directors, Mr. Schreiber. You can come up.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. My name is Dietrich Schreiber, for those of you who know my face but are surprised by the name. If you're from Rehoboth, it's Dieter Schreiber. Because Sid Willem couldn't pronounce Dieter Schreiber. So thank you for honoring my parents with the correct pronunciation. So what a wonderful day for Namibia. The launch of a truly Namibian financial services company by Namibians for Namibians. Thank you to our shareholder for creating an environment where we can be innovative and push the Namibian agenda. Our intention is to create a fully fledged financial services company that can fully cater to our clients' needs. A financial services company that can hold its own amidst the giants of the industry. We've assembled a great team here, and we know that the staff of Kuleni are committed and share in our dream. The board is also committed to you, and we strive to ensure that you have an enabling environment. As a board of directors, we do actively set a tone that is pro-corporate governance and is pro-compliance. We seek to actively comply with legislation. We do what we say we will do. What we are doing here today, this brand launch, is a culmination of years of effort and an audacious dream. So welcome aboard. Thank you for attending. Thank you, Adforce, and watch this space.
All right. Thank you very much. I think all that's left is on the schedule for refreshments, the best part of the whole agenda. But let me just perhaps close off by thanking everybody. We've established all the protocols, so we don't need to go through the list again. Maybe just to re-emphasize and reinforce why we are here and how Kuleni has been growing. I think if one had to use an analogy of a aircraft taking off, you see a brand launch like this is it's not even the takeoff yet. It's that moment when the aircraft positions itself and it stops, and you can see that the pilot is starting to do something, and then it starts that big pull-off and lift-off. I think that's where we are, if anything. A good brand, a good strategic plan, and a good rebranding is a means to an end. And the Kuleni website and their high-level statements are very clear as to what it is that they are trying to achieve. So I think if you can, please just join us. We ended a little bit early, so there are some refreshments, breakfast outside, tea and coffee. Please join us. Please find out what Kuleni means from somebody. Do you want to say something before we release it? All right, no, then I even have better news than refreshments, and that is that there are some gift packs that have been prepared for you at the back. So just as you go outside on your left, please pick up one and then go to breakfast. And with that,